I'm going to talk about a very popular topic, and I feel like I see it everywhere, and it's fat burning supplements. Not just fat burning supplements, but supplements in general. I feel like I see them for creatine now. I see a lot of influencers talk about balancing their hormones. So, can you just talk to us a little bit about fat burning supplements, like, and even medication like Ozempic, and if they actually work or what are the risks?
Nothing takes the place of personal responsibility and correct health habits. And that means eating carefully, not eating till you're full, eating a wide variety of plant materials, get a wide variety of fiber, preventing your body from building up metabolic waste and externally and toxic waste from the external environment, and getting enough sleep. And also having good emotions that are not, you're not under chronic stress. In other words, people, they're looking for magic and they're looking for remedies instead of establishing the foundation of good health. And the remedies lead to more poor health because let's say, just for example, you're getting 6 hours of sleep a night and you need 7.5 hours of sleep. You could feel fine with 6 hours sleep. Just drink coffee 3 times a day to get your energy back up. Just take extra creatine to get you to feel a little more power. But what you really needed that's not going to be good for your life to try to cover up the fact that you needed an extra hour and a half of sleep each night. So what you really need to do is same thing with good nutrition. When people are fatigued, they're fatigued because their body has too much metabolic wastes. And when wastes circulate in the bloodstream, people feel wiped out and fatigued. And we could stop the circulation of waste by giving more food or giving more supplements. So people look for symptomatic relief, which then leads for them to pay less attention to cause. And because the American diet is such a dirty diet, it really is dirty in that it produces a huge amount of metabolic waste, that the people are always going to feel fatigued when they stop stimulating themselves with. So it's a whole different way of looking at the world and looking at the way the body works that leads people in this remedy mentality that the medical profession reinforces by you have high blood pressure, you take a remedy. You get folic acid defects, you have neural tube defects, you take a little folic acid pill during pregnancy, which is synthetic, it's a remedy. It's all, you have diabetes. It's never establishing what the cause of the problem is, which always leads to better long-term results. And people confuse short-term feeling better for long-term benefits, and they're confusing because what makes you feel better in the short run can be very detrimental to your long-term health. So it's very confusing for people because they don't understand how the way the body works. And we'll go over that feeling better in the short run is not what we're looking for. It's living longer and aging slower, what we're looking for. And that requires sometimes us to feel worse in the short run. But we can talk about that and explain that more. But we can put that in context with the question you asked me about fat burning, energy, and hormone balancing, and creatine, and what you asked me more about Ozempic and trying to speed up weight loss. And the point is, you don't get something for nothing. You pay a price for every time you try to trick the body. So drugs don't work because they're nutritive. They work because they're toxic or poisonous. So they block some natural body receptor. And the poison you take to block that receptor comes with some price. You never get it without a price. And so Ozempic causes, on the average, 8 to 10% of weight loss. If you're 100 pounds overweight, and you're losing 10% of that, then you're losing maybe 15 pounds. You're still 85 pounds overweight. And then the minute you stop the Ozempic, you gain the weight back. And you didn't learn how to deal and get the other 80 pounds off your body. And if you learned how to get the other 80 pounds off your body, then you wouldn't have needed the Ozempic. And plus the fact that we don't know the long-term health risks of Ozempic or any of those medications. Every drug in the history of medicine has resulted in a cumulative pile of negative side effects that shown themselves after 10 years. Look at Nexium, the number one proton pump inhibitor for people with reflux. Now it has a black box warning to show people it causes increased risk of heart attacks that we didn't know the first 5 years was out there in the market. So the point is that they reinforce a person's reliance on fads, gimmicks, and tricks and drugs instead of taking personal responsibility by learning how to eat a salad and vegetable bean soup and exercise every day and get enough sleep. So people really, it's just demonstrative of how backwards the medical profession is and their lack of ability to motivate and to educate the population to stop this obesity epidemic and this cancer epidemic that we've started, that the medical doctors have contributed to.
It seems like you're saying these fat burning supplements and even drugs like Ozempic are more harmful than helpful. Because I know you've said a lot too, yo-yo dieting is more dangerous than even losing the weight at all. You want to lose the weight and keep it off forever. You don't want a yo-yo diet.
That's true. Keep in mind, over 50% of people on Ozempic quit the medication within the first year of use. That means if they quit the medication, the weight comes back. And the weight comes back usually faster than they originally gained the weight. And when the weight comes back faster, the fat is stored more visceral and it becomes more saturated. And more visceral fat and more saturated fat produces higher levels of cholesterol and creates more insulin resistance, so it ages them faster. So starting and stopping weight loss, losing and gaining weight again, particularly when you use drugs, is not helpful to your long-term survival and actually accelerates the aging process. And so you're talking about staying on a medication long-term for a little bit of benefit, or just taking it for a while and stopping it. And you say, oh, I'm going to just take it for a little while to kickstart till I can get my diet right. But it doesn't, but drugs don't work that way. People don't learn how to do it right. They don't learn how to get rid of their addiction, their cravings. The only way you get rid of addictions and cravings, so you can continue the weight loss past the initial 10 or 15 pounds you're losing, is by repetition and practice in abstaining from these toxic foods that stimulate the brain, the dopamine centers in the brain. And these foods that have a high caloric rush of calories, like fried foods and oils and sugar and honey. And in other words, anything that has it's called the glycemic load is how fast the sugar enters the bloodstream. And the lipemic load is how fast the fat enters the bloodstream. And when you have these huge amounts of calories entering the bloodstream, it affects the dopamine centers in the brain, the same areas that are overly stimulated by opiates. And then people become dopamine insensitive and they develop cravings for a rush of calories. So they have a salad and some vegetables or some soup and some fruit with lunch, and they're not satisfied. There was no caloric rush. They got to have some ice cream, a pizza, a burger, some chips. They have to have something that creates a caloric rush because it's not going to be brain stimulating. And they're not going to ever get rid of those cravings unless they restructure the wiring of the brain, which means you have to abstain from smoking for many months to rewire the brain. You have to abstain from sugar and oils and fried food and fast foods and commercial baked goods for many months to rewire the brain so you stop craving them. And so these drugs don't make people stop their cravings. They're trying to change the wiring a little bit, and so you're still fighting yourself. You're never really going to learn how to do this unless you really train yourself. And training in any sport, any endeavor, takes practice and repetition and time to do it right over and over again. Then your body adapts to that.